now it's time for rule of law, right? And obviously in Beng Hock's case, the rule of law failed. Let me be the law teacher for just 2 minutes, all right? What is the classic rule of law? What is the classic understanding of the rule of law? It's 3 principles. Firstly, everyone is equal before the law. This includes government servants. If you committed a crime, you pay for your crime.
Yes.
It doesn't matter how high you are, doesn't matter how rich you are, you will face the law just like everybody else. That's first, equality of the law. Secondly, sanctions have to be backed by law. There is no sanction worse than death. The deaths that happen in custody do not happen by law. So that's another rule of law which is broken. Then thirdly, the courts must be independent and ultimate and be the ultimate decision maker. The decisions are important. They must be respected. Was the Court of Appeal decision respected? No, because nothing happened. The court says investigations must continue and those who are guilty must be, those who are accused must be charged. It did not happen. So all 3 of the classic understanding of what the rule of law is, all the 3 points of what the rule of law should mean, has not been fulfilled in Teoh Beng Hock's case, has not been fulfilled in many, many cases in this country. But now's the time to change it. And then you come up to me and surprise me 2 minutes before I'm supposed to speak, tell me, what do we do now? I go. Why does this thing always happen to me? Okay, firstly, if you're talking about accountability, right? Accountability, there are a few things I think can happen. First and foremost, the nation needs to sign and ratify the Convention Against Torture. There is a Convention Against Torture. Malaysia is not a party to the Convention Against Torture. In fact, in other conventions, we make a reservation when it comes to torture. We are party to only 3 human rights treaties, ladies and gentlemen. The Convention for the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, or CEDAW, the Convention for the Protection of the Rights of a Child, and the Convention for the Rights of the Persons with Disabilities. In the Convention for the Rights of the Child and in the Convention for the Persons with Disabilities, there are provisions saying no torture. Don't torture children, don't torture the disabled. Malaysia has made reservations for both. Not only do we like torture, we want to torture our kids and we want to torture our disabled as well. So Saifuddin has said that he wants to ratify this treaty. You bloody well better ratify this treaty, mate. And make sure that it is part of our domestic law. Don't just ratify it and not make sure it's effective in our country, because some judges need things to be spelled out and slapped on their forehead before they enforce it. So the Convention Against Torture is something that we can do. The new government can do this. Do it! Don't tell me Malaysians love torture. Don't tell me it's a political issue. To be a party to the Convention Against Torture is politically unpopular. Really? That doesn't make sense to me. The second thing we have to do is we must have an independent police commission. Absolutely. Totally wajib. We cannot say the police can investigate themselves. That's like me telling my students, you go mark your own exams. Alright? It doesn't make sense. Okay? Now, one of the reasons that Ram is right, it's corruption. But there's also a culture of invulnerability among some of our agencies. You know, to some extent, we don't really see what's happening. Because a lot of the people that they do torture, and the definition of torture under international law is when government agencies, when government agents physically harm people for the purposes of either getting information or confessions, that is torture. I am quite certain this happens a lot. Because the police do not seem to understand that a person who is in custody is still innocent. You're only guilty until you're found guilty in court. So when you hurt people under your care, under your charge, you are hurting an innocent person. That person has not been found guilty, and that is torture. For whatever reason you're hurting them, maybe you want a confession, maybe you want information. That is torture. And we cannot trust the police to take care of themselves. So we need an independent body to watch them, because otherwise they will continue because they feel they are invulnerable. And we cannot have that. because that's clearly against the rule of law. So I think, with regards to accountability and the future, Ram's already spoken about the nitty-gritty of the cases. I think on a bigger scale, these are the two things that we really have got to get done. Ratify the Convention Against Torture, establish an independent police commission.